Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me. I'm April B. I have a magazine called Mental Intimacy Magazine, and it's diving into the mental intimacy of people's minds. So I want to dive into your mind when it comes down to dancing and how do you do it? But first, what is Celine Boom?
Okay, so Celine Boom is me. I'm her. I got that name from my mentors when I was 12 years old, just because physically I used to hit all of my dance moves really, really hard. But now I feel like Boom really embodies who I am as a person when I step into the room. It's my energy that just takes over the space.
I love that. I mean, so are you still doing that now?
Hitting up, no, I've learned how to finesse things a little bit more now.
Make it a little bit more clean, right?
You know, less power. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so also I hear that you are about women unity. So welcome to the month of Women's History Month. Hello, hello. Perfect timing for us to be actually interviewing you on this month of March. So what made you feel like, hey, more women empowerment is really needed at this time?
Honestly, just my upbringing, having a strong single mom, raised me, and then my grandma, just being surrounded by strong women as I grew up, and now just seeing like I feel like the industry, especially the commercial and entertainment industry, is very dominated by the male gaze. And as women, we can tend to feel like we have to be in competition with each other. And I feel like we could win if we just come together.
Oh my gosh. And I feel that that's going to come upon us one day as long as we keep pushing each other. So I love that you're actually doing that. It's a great feeling to actually know that others feel the same way. So it's feeling the same way. You became interested and seriously wanted to dance at the University of Arts. And so how did your family and friends feel about that, that you didn't pursue these major goals of journalism or sports casting, because you out here, doing your dance performances for these basketball players and everything. So how did that go?
Well, I was a straight A student, and I do remember having one teacher in my AP class telling me I was too smart to be dancing. And yeah, and
Okay.
I got a full ride to the University of Connecticut. And my father wasn't too happy that I chose to not go to the University of Connecticut on a full scholarship and go
Mm-hmm.
to the University of the Arts. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, needless to say, the adults in my life were not too pleased, but that just pushed me to work extra hard to show them, like, no, look, I got this. This is a really viable career that I'm going to be successful at.
I love that because so again, it pushes back to the mental part of the magazine. That had to be very challenging to be like, okay, I have children. So it's like you want to sell your kids to do, I want you to do this, and I want you to do this. And then it's like, wait a minute, did I fail as a parent? And so I know it probably took a lot for your parents, but I love how you mentally took on that challenge. It was like, look, now I'm getting you tickets to these games when you see me perform for free.
Now I'm on TV. Now I'm on Netflix. Like, come on, y'all.
Yes. So let's bring up Netflix. Okay, this Dance 100 premiering. Just like I said, look, I used to tap dance. Okay, I'm not even gonna date. Look, hey, look, look, da, 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 da. Okay, so I was one of those, the tap, to tap, to tap. So, like, I know you started at 12. How did you get from 12 to Dance 100? Like, that's a lot.
Ooh, okay. Long story short, if I could say it in one sentence, I just kept my blinders on. I just kept my blinders on and I stayed focused. And I knew that I wanted to be a star. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew, even at that age, what, 16, 17, 18, I knew that I was a star and that
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to continue to stay focused and dedicated on what my passion was.
Yeah.
So logistically, I did all the training. I went to ALE, I went to Mosley, I went to the University of the Arts. And at first, I didn't see myself being a commercial dancer because I thought that to be, a prestigious dancer, I had to be part of a company like ALE
Mm-hmm.
or anything else. And I had to be a bunhead, as we call them, like a
Yeah.
ballerina.
Okay.
But then I was like, I'm really passionate about being in front of the camera and I really like hip hop. So I started to shift my focus that way. I got my first agent, didn't know what that meant, started auditioning. because I had no idea
You
what
just
it
went
meant.
in blind, huh?
Just went in, like I told you, I had my blinders on. I was just like focused.
Yes.
Um, Became a Brooklynette dancer, and from there, being a Brooklynette has opened so many doors for me. And was I've been a Brooklynette for 7 years. I'm now the assistant coach in my 8th season with the organization. But I started, yep, I started choreographing on the team as well as performing, and then Dance 100 just kind of fell in my lap, and it just in the divine. I'm a believer, and so I
Yes.
really believe that God has really put all of this in front of me.
Right. I love how you say that because sometimes we always try to go in our own direction, then he slowly just brings us back and be like, wait a minute, that is not where I said I want you. We
Exactly.
got to figure it out ourselves. So it's good that you had your blinders on. Like that's amazing. So you're on this Dance 100. But before we go into Dance 100, because that right there is a whole different animal. Just looking at first of all, I don't, that takes a lot out of me. Okay, just trying to do like these little Uzi verts and things like that. Now, child, I don't know how y'all right. Like just I'll leave it to my kids to do that. But I see that you perform with some of these major artists like Lil Kim, DJ Khaled, Megan Trainor. How did you turn around that hip hop, strut to Megan Trainor's type of music? How do you know when to cut it off? It's like I know I can't do this step. How do you manage to do that?
Um, as a Black woman, you just know to code switch, right? Same
Mm-hmm.
thing, right? When it comes to dancing. However, I do want to give a nod to hip hop and the hip hop culture, because hip hop is culture. Hip hop is pop culture. And a lot of these artists draw from what that is. So
Mm-hmm.
shout out to 50 years, celebrating 50 years of hip hop this year. Yep.
Right.
But, in the commercial space, you have that street, you have that grit training, and then you're able to mold it to what it is that the artist wants you to do, or what the choreographer wants you to do, and you know how to give it a
Yeah,
little cheek, give it a little bubble gum, but still have that swag, right? That everybody wants to see.
I love that bubble gum. So now I got a new little saying, bubble. I got to work on mine, girl, because I'm chewing. Like
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too. I'm like,
I got a whole lot of tune with it because you know how we are. We can't give you basic.
all that neck, yeah.
Look, okay, so I heard you like to cook. How do you find time to cook? And what do you eat? Because I don't eat steak or chicken, but I be struggling.
I eat it all, honestly. I'm a steak girl. I love a steak. But
Oh, oh,
Um, finding time to cook is just like finding time to breathe. Honestly, you know what I mean? Or finding time to sleep. You have to find the time to pour back into yourself. And cooking is one of those ways that I do self-care. Because
yes.
eating out and things can mess with your energy and all of that stuff. So I make it a point to cook myself a meal every day.
I love that. That's awesome because you can decompose for your day and be like,
Yeah.
just go with the mix. You just like a little saute here and a
Let's
little.
here. What do I feel today? I always wake up like, what do I feel like eating today? Yeah, seriously.
I need to get like that because I'm just like fish, chicken. So it's like a lot. Like, okay, so I'm gonna have to look into that. The bubble gum, you're teaching me now. Okay. I just want you to know you teaching me at this point. All right. So Dance 100 fell into your lap. You're choreographing, but you're also a dancer. How again that energy, like
Yeah, it
what do
takes a lot,
you
so like I was saying, the Brooklynettes really prepared me, because while I
do?
was on the team, I was choreographing a lot of the routines, but also had to perform them. And
Yeah.
so that's the basis of Dance 100. It's 8 choreographers competing for $100,000. And
Mm.
not only do we have to choreograph the routines, we also have to perform in them as well. So that wasn't a challenge for me.
Okay. Okay.
Like it was something that I was used to. And like I said, I felt like I was prepped for without even
Yeah.
knowing what I was prepping for.
Hey, you didn't. That's why like you said, divine God had you already, following them steps, and you was just like, okay, I'm gonna go, and then it just fell into your lap. So, did you feel like the competition was like stiff, or you felt like it was going to be easy because you already have that, like that swag and bubble gum and everything already with yourself together on the show? Did you feel like it was going to be like, Huh?
Honestly, I didn't know what I was gonna walk into. I didn't know who any of the other choreographers were. And then once I learned who they were, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little intimidated because these were people who I looked up to, like
Oh,
Keenan Cook, Max Pham. Like I looked up to these people, so
yeah.
now to be competing alongside them in the same arena, I was like, a little imposter syndrome set in, like, oh my gosh, am I good enough? Am I worth
Yeah.
that? So honestly, being on the show was really a test for me. But I am proud of myself and I learned a lot.
Look, I can't wait to check this out because I'll be like, I know her. I know her. I know her. If she gives me the bubble gum, I know